In this video, I'll be rating fruits and how they affect your hormones from a metabolic perspective, using inputs from studies, what Peat has to say, and also from working with clients over the last 5 to 6 years. So let's get into it. So I'm going to be rating them from S tier all the way to D tier, S tier being best, and then D tier being the worst. So I'm going to be rating them accordingly. I'll give you the reasons why, and yeah, let's get into it. So number one, I want to start with pomegranates, and specifically also like other variables to consider is the sweetness. Is the fruit ripe? Is it organic? Is it not organic? So I'm going to be assessing, and I'll say if I'm not, from a place of the fruit is ripe, it's good, and if there's any modifications, like for example with pomegranate juice is very good versus eating the seeds. I wouldn't recommend. So pomegranate juice specifically, I would put A tier, as it boosts testosterone levels. I've made many videos on this, how consuming orange juice for 2 weeks boosted testosterone levels by can't remember the number, 20%. So it's very good. It's something that I see with clients when I recommend the juice to friends. They see the difference instantly. It's a very effective thing. It has good carbohydrates. It's high in potassium. Or also lowers iron absorption, which is good, as most people have too much iron. They're eating fortified foods and things like that, and excess iron lowers testosterone, lowers the metabolic rate, increases the oxidation, it accelerates the oxidation of PUFAs. So it's very good. The only cons would be things like it's a very strong juice, so make sure you dilute it if you're sensitive, things like that. But yeah, next we have avocados. So avocados are fruit, and I put this in here just for context for when people hear that I mention I only eat fruits. The first thing that comes to their mind is, oranges, kiwis, whatever, but they don't consider things like avocados or cucumbers or tomatoes or peppers. All of those things are fruits as well. And when I say I avoid vegetables, I mean green leafy vegetables like kale, spinach, things like that. And then you have potatoes, carrots, which are roots, which is a different category. So avocados specifically I would put in D tier. So they're not optimal. I wouldn't go out of my way to include it in the meal plan, especially if you're in a low testosterone state, low metabolic state. Sure, it's not polyunsaturated fats, but monounsaturated. And with every saturation, it decreases thyroid by half as much. Polyunsaturated being the worst, mono not as much, but still, and then saturated not. So this is the reason why I would put it in D tier. Overall, if your goal is to get fats in your diet, I would get it from coconut oil, from ghee, from butter, from animal fats. And if you're doing it the right way, your fat intake shouldn't be extremely high, and the fats that you are getting it from resources that are saturated rather than monounsaturated, right? You can have olive oil, but olive oil has powerful properties that are beneficial in the carrot salad and things like that. From a peat perspective, not optimal as well. And yeah, D tier. Next we have oranges. Orange juice. This will go in S tier. So oranges, very high in polyphenols like naringenin, which inhibit the tryptophan hydroxylase enzyme that converts tryptophan, an amino acid that you get from muscle meat, into serotonin lowering testosterone. Also has been shown that high tryptophan diets lead to lower testosterone. So oranges help with that. The benefits that men get from improving their androgens like testosterone and DHT come from the benefits of inhibiting the tryptophan hydroxylase enzyme, which you can get from oranges as well. Also, like soy has phytoestrogens, while oranges have phytoprogestins, which increase progesterone. And progesterone has a relationship with the body by lowering cortisol levels, which increases testosterone. So oranges are super good. But, and other things like very good glucose type, like good carbohydrate source, which allows for the liver to convert thyroid T4 inactive into active T3. So overall, very good to have in your routine. But the main thing is it has to be sweet, pulp-free orange juice. If you're eating like this bitter, not sweet, it can cause gut issues. Like, make sure it's good quality sweet. Like, the main thing with fruit, it has to be ripe, sweet, it tastes nice. That's the main thing, right? You don't want to force things just because Ray, Pete, or Alex told you to eat oranges, but your shop sells some bitter oranges that you don't enjoy. So pay attention to that. Next, we have bananas. So bananas will go into C tier. The reason why, overall good in potassium levels, semi-orange juice, good with potassium, allows for proper insulin. The thing with bananas, like, you want to make sure it's ripe. And ripe, it's like more when it's on the brown end, when it's like sweet, when you're making banana bread, that type of way. And bananas are high in starches, also serotonin, tryptophan. So any residue starch that you're consuming bananas, it's feeding the gram-negative bacteria, increasing serotonin burden in the liver. So if you're in a detrimental state, bananas can be very problematic. Bananas can be more better if you maybe cook them to break down that starch, just like plantains, you could say. Some would say, oh, what about monkeys? They eat bananas and they're good. Like, bananas can work because they're sweet, but they have to be good bananas, ripe, and also you need to be in a good state. And most people are not. So they're better off eating ripe fruit, easily digestible, that doesn't cause any issues. So that's why I would put it on C. Like, I personally don't go out of my way to write bananas in clients' nutrition plans because it can cause issues, right? Okay, next we have blueberries. Blueberries will go to B tier. So good carbohydrate source, easily digestible, good at antioxidants. Goes great with like gelatin, dairy. There can be some anti-thyroid-ish effect if consumed in excess, hence why in B tier. But overall, solid, just neutral, nice to have. Yeah, and the way I'm kind of rating it is like B is like neutral level, you could say. You can have in your meal, but you can't. You don't want to, depending. If you do have it, not a problem. If you don't have it, not a problem. C, it's like, depends on the context. I'd rather you not, but if you love them and you're in a good state, sure. D tier, I just wouldn't. A tier, it's like, it's good depending if you have a good source, you have access to it, do you have the funds to afford it. And then C tier, definitely a must. So that's for context. Okay, next we have melons, so like cantaloupe, yellow honeydew, so like yellow melons. This goes in S tier because it's so easily digestible. It's basically like water, good carbohydrate source. It's gentle, low irritants. It may bloat, and depending on the source, can be in heavy metals, but fundamentally melons in and of themselves are nice. Make sure you eat them ripe, solo, best for digestion, and yeah, they're good. Next we have cucumbers. Yes, cucumbers are fruits because they have seeds, as you can see in the middle here. So cucumbers will go to C tier, sorry. And so they're not optimal, not bad if you want to have them. Like I personally wouldn't go out of my way to buy it, but let's say I'm out eating at someone's house or whatever, there's cucumbers, sure, I'll eat them, things like that. Hydrating, okay, when peeled seedless. The only thing, it's basically like water, it's like low in sugar. And something known as cucurbitacins can irritate, I can't even pronounce that, can irritate the gut. So that's kind of how I would place cucumbers. So next we have cherries, which I would put in A tier. So quite good, easily digestible. Obviously don't eat the seed. Make sure it's good quality. Make sure, especially if you're picking them yourselves, there's no like bugs in them or anything like that. But yeah, easy sugars, usually well tolerated. Doesn't have any like serotonin components or anything like that. And fresh is optimal versus dried, as dried have more irritants and things like that. So yeah. Next we have raspberries. So raspberries will actually go to D tier. So as vitamin C, has some sugar, but it's very high in insoluble fiber. Like when you look at raspberries, I remember, if I remember correctly, when I was doing keto, I would have raspberries, even though it's keto, because with keto you need to calculate net carbohydrates. And net carbohydrate is calculated based on how many carbohydrates minus the fiber. And I'm pretty sure raspberries are in that state that if you have no carbs and you have some raspberries, it won't kick you out of ketosis. From what I remember, maybe I'm wrong, but can be good irritating, the insoluble fiber feeding the endotoxin, things like that, and can be irritative for digestion. So it'd be D, maybe C, not same thing. Like if I'd see that, I'll maybe eat some. Also context, how does it affect you, things like that. So it'd be kind of in between here. Because the main thing with, especially people with trying to optimize their health, most people have gut issues like bacterial overgrowth and things like that. So going from that context, anything that feeds those gram-negative bacteria, you just want out. And in this context, that's the main issue there. Next, we have mangoes, which go actually in C tier. So it's very high in fiber. That's the problem as well. Also in like tropical countries, there's like called the mango sickness that people get from eating too much of them, because mangoes can have that effect. Good carbohydrates, so it's, especially when it's sweet, it's good. And have it in moderate amounts, and yeah, I would put it here. Next we have apples. Apples go in B tier. So this is raw, cooked applesauce. With cooked, like very soothing carbohydrates, things like that. I would pay attention to the pectins. Pay attention to how you feel. Like I personally like apple juice. Nice sweet apple juice is good. So cooked would be better over raw, because cooked you're breaking down anything problematic. Like in Poland you have like compote with some sugar, and it's very good. But yeah. Next we have watermelon. This is gonna go A tier. So watermelon, just like melons, very good on the gut, easily digestible, very hydrating. It's nice substitute for a pre-workout over consuming like these nitric oxide boosting supplements that increase systemic nitric oxide, because the L-citrulline from the watermelon. So I'm pretty sure in different countries, watermelon, it's like, I don't know if it's Greek or whatever, like citrulline, like a play on that word. And that's why L-citrulline comes from that, because watermelon is high, very good for blood flow, getting a nice pump, things like that. Can bloat if mixed with meals, things like that. Nice summer carbohydrates, best to eat alone, but yeah, it's nice. Next we have kiwi fruit. Kiwi fruit I would put in C tier. I had mixed opinions throughout my journey with the health. Like I used to be a big believer of having 2 kiwis before bed because of the glycine, things like that. But with kiwis, it has like serotonin, tryptophan action going on. If in excess, that's why it has that tingling, irritating effect. But most importantly, having a sweet ripe, it is nice. Good with vitamin C, and yeah, like it can be good irritating. That's another issue with that. Next we have seedless grapes. So this will go in S tier. So easily digestible. That's a big thing my clients with hypothyroid issues would consume, because it's very good on their gut. With clients with severe gut issues, grapes worked very well for them. Seedless grapes. Some are so damn bad they'll take off the skin and just have the flesh, you could say, of the grape, and worked very well. So seedless grapes, very easily digestible glucose, minimal fiber, good carbohydrates source in between meals. For a summer snack, I would put the grapes in like a freezer, and then you have like these frozen sorbet you can kind of, yeah. Okay, next we have pears. Pears I would do B. So kind of like apples. Gentle sweetness. Same, you can make compote, like cook it. So cooking with these 2 improves them, makes them better. So it goes B tier. Next we have pineapple. So with pineapple, it goes C tier. Very similar to the kiwi and the mango, the fiber action, the tryptophan action. Peat talks about this, how pineapple can cause issues. Like has a hibernating effect. So I would be cautious of pineapple. The bromelain, the digestive enzyme, is good. The studies that I've seen, it maintains testosterone levels in times of stress for marathon runners. So when I work with boxers or professionals or that perform endurance training, I've seen bromelain work quite well, because they don't want to quit it, but they don't want to tank their metabolic rate. So using bromelain helps them out. But besides that, but they would take that separately as a supplement, as like digestive enzymes, rather than the actual fruit. But yeah, that would go there. Next we have apricots, ripe. That will go A tier. Good in potassium, gentle when cooked, very digestible, just easy on the gut. And that's kind of what makes a big difference between S, A, B, C, D. Like the digestion, how easily are they digestible? It kind of goes like that. You see with these here, they're like more fibrous. Here they're like high fat and like very much a lot of fiber. These are more easier, better when cooked. These you don't have to cook and easily digestible, and these very easy on the gut. So as you can see, like that's how the rating kind of goes, and other properties that have benefits depending on the context. Next we have strawberries. I would go to B tier. Vitamin C, low in calorie, may have like histamine potential. The seeds can cause issues. Best go with like cream, gelatin, things like that. so quite good. And then next we have peaches, nectarines. This will go S tier, very easy on the gut, soft sugars, potassium, lowish fiber when ripe. The peel can irritate some, must be ripe, so I would do it without the skin. And you have a very nice fruit right there. Sorry, that's nectarines. Now plums. So plums, I would go B tier. When cooked better. Can cause gas, bloating, so I'd be careful. And more so problematic on the gut. And then lastly, we have ripe papaya. This will go S tier. So easy sugar, very digestible when truly ripe, soothing, juices, things like that. Very easily, very nice. Like when you even open it, it's like very soft. Same effect when you eat it. It's very nice, making sure it's sweet. It feels good, and fructose increases the cell respiration, boosts your thyroid hormones. So these are the 21 fruits. These are how I would rate them. I've seen some guys mention, oh, it doesn't matter, pineapple, this fruit is good, but it's like, I don't know, like working with clients over the last 5 to 6 years and just doing this for 10 years, over a decade now, it does make a difference, especially when you're dealing with individuals who are in a detrimental state. Those little small things. But sure, if you're a teenager, late teens, early teens, you're healthy or somewhat good state, maybe you just have a slight knowledge gap, like all of these, like these fruits would be good. But if you go deeper, it's problematic. I would be just cautious of the fruits that you're eating, how it affects you and things like that. And starting with the top ones when you're introducing fruit, and less so the bottom ones. And yeah, and having juices over the fruit, even easier digestible. When you're having the juices, having the pulp free, so no fiber, things like that. Paying attention to the sweetness, then you get to organic versus non-organic and things like that. But this is the tier list. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and yeah, God bless.